Hey, what's going on, everybody? Well, welcome to another edition of the Movie Phantom's Horror Review. I'm your host, the Movie Phantom, and I hope you guys had a great Friday the 13th, and I hope you guys enjoyed. We kind of took a little break from the reviews here for a little bit. We did the Horror Villain Summer Showdown, so I hope you enjoyed that. I want to thank my really good friend El Blanto for helping me out with that. So El Blanto, if you're watching, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And tonight we're going to be hitting up two of my, truly some of my favorite movies right here. One's definitely one of my favorites. Two, it's up there. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy it. My boy the Joker, he hit me up with a request that I do reviews on the entire Phantasm series. So I decided, you know what? Hell yeah, it's one of my favorite series. So we're gonna hit it up. This week we'll do 1 and 2. Next week will be 3 and 4. So boom, here it is, Phantasm and Phantasm 2. I don't have the standalone copy. I have it in a 4-pack. Came with the Funhouse and Serpent and Rainbow, and I like both movies. I'm not going to lie, though. This one, the title is literally... I shit you not, it's 7 S's. That's the title of the fucking movie. Like, when they're writing the script, what's the title? He writes, like, 7 S's out. I'm not going to lie, the movie was just as retarded as the fucking title, so... Boom, there it is. We're going to hit up right here. Not going to lie, I'm a little off tonight. I'm not feeling the greatest, I ain't going to lie. Woke up yesterday morning feeling pretty sick. I'm feeling a little better today, but, not 100%. So, of course, I'm never really 100% when I do these things anyways, I mean, you guys have been watching long enough now, I'm not 100% anyways. But, before we get started, I do want to hit one topic. I got a comment the other day. It's actually a couple weeks ago. I didn't say it last week because we, got away from the reviews and the regular show. But I had a guy, and I won't mention any names. Like we've already settled it. It's cool. It's in the past. But this dude, literally, I commented on one of his things, and it wasn't I was just busting balls kind of thing. But it wasn't meant to be taken seriously. But when I commented, he got kind of shitty about it, and his reply was, well, that's kind of, weird, I comment on your stuff all the time, and you never reply back, and then, the one time that you do decide to leave a comment, and once again, I was clearly joking on, this comment I left, but that's not the thing, it was the thing, reason why I'm bringing this up at all, was when he said, he's, commented on my stuff numerous times, and I never got back to him. And I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't even true at all, because here's how I do my viewer comments. Because my thing is, I will read any comment on the show, and if I don't read on the show, I usually reply back to you. If I don't reply back to you immediately, odds are I'm gonna say it right here on the show. But I won't admit, I won't lie though, the few that I don't comment back to, or mention on the show, I don't really ever, reply back to on comments yeah, I agree with you on this. Because here's how I kind of see the YouTube, comment box, is I pretend like it's a room, and we're all sitting here. So I'm doing the show, and I'm saying it all to you guys, and then someone will leave a comment yeah, I agree with your, ideas on, Phantasm 2. Now, what am I gonna say back to that? If he's all sitting here in the lair, and I'm just such and such, and that's why, that's that, and you go, hey, I agree with that, I'm not really gonna be yes, I know you agree, cause no, I don't really, so, if you guys are throwing out thumbs up, or keep up the good work, and all that stuff, I'll throw a thanks or something like that, but, if it's just I agree, or whatever, I don't typically, reply back to that. But I do try to reply back to everybody, and like I said, this person claimed I didn't reply back to their comments, and once again, I'm not going to mention names, I'm not going to, once again, it's settled, it's in the past, but yeah, I definitely, I've mentioned this person's name on my show multiple times, because they do leave comments. I'm just guessing, I do leave some long videos, I'm guessing he doesn't really get to the viewer comment portion, because, let's face it, it is way, at the 20-minute mark. And I'm just running my mouth right now, so half people are just fuck this guy, they turn it off anyways. But yes, I just wanted to, clarify right there that, you leave a viewer comment, I will always get back to you, unless if it's just something hey, I agree, or, yeah, that's what I thought. I'm not going to, we're on the same page already, you don't need me to, hit you back with that. But yes, just wanted to throw it out there. So let's, quit this whining. Let's get into the actual show. Now 2 weeks ago, we threw the question of the week out there, and it was, what was your top 3 favorite foreign horror movies? God damn it, I left one off. I can't believe it. And what was our good friend Alicia? She had it in her top 3. I just left it off. I could not believe it. When I read it, I was like, oh shit, how is that not on my top 3? Audition. Yes, so I'm taking 28 Weeks Later off my list, and I'm throwing Audition on there. In fact, I'm putting Audition pretty high up there. It's probably going to be like one's 28 Days Later, and then Audition, and then One Missed Call. So that's my top 3 right there. Oh, excuse me. And we got some, replies back, on that. So let me go ahead and read some of these off. The 13th Wolfman hit me up. His top 3 was at number 3, The Descent. Really good stuff. Did a, review on that not long ago. Wolf Creek. Still haven't seen this movie. I have a friend, I think I mentioned this before, I guess I'm that guy who just I'm name dropping events or locations, but I had a friend who actually went to Wolf Creek over in Australia. And he don't even like horror movies. That's what kills me. This guy couldn't even really appreciate it. He's just like, oh, this is the side of that horror movie, huh? And didn't care. And I was like, are you kidding me? That's awesome. And 13 Wolfman's number 1 was Superior. And I'm not a huge fan of Superior. Everybody loves it. I just personally did not care for it. But, it's just me. But, yes, 13 Wolfman, thank you very much. Up next, my boy Joker hit me up with, at number 3, The Grudge. And I'm not sure if he meant, the Japanese version or the American version, because this dude's from, England or something. So, both of them are considered foreign to him. So, I'm not really sure which one he actually meant on that. But either way, then 28 Days Later. And then his number 1 was Spawn. Not really a horror movie, but fuck it, we'll let it slide. He's my boy. We'll let it go. Alicia hit me up with that number 3, Shudder. Number 2, The Audition. Should have been, on my list a long time ago. And number 1, I have not seen this one, Frontier. I'll be honest, I hadn't even heard of it. I know, the mask is crumbling and you're seeing the interposer coming out of the Phantom, but yeah, I have not seen it. And finally, Gorshak13 hit me up, and he said Inside, which I've heard nothing but great things. It's on my list of things to see. I just have not had a chance to see it yet. High Tension, excellent. And then his number 1 is The Descent, and also just an excellent movie. All right, so this week I was thinking to myself, what's going to be the top 3 this week? And I decided that since, I already mentioned that this is actually one of my favorite series, there it is, your top 3 favorite horror series. Now, let me just define series real quick. A double movie, that ain't gonna count. You can't have 2 movies. That's a couple. That's a couple movie. That's a sequel. And it can't be 3. I know everybody's gonna be like Evil Dead. That's gonna be the first thing they're gonna say. Evil Dead. You can't say Evil Dead. That's a trilogy. There's a difference. There's a trilogy. 4 and more. That's what I'm defining a series. At least for this question. All right. That's all I'm saying. To me, a series is 4 and more. So beyond that, whatever you want to throw out there. What is your favorite, top 3 horror series? For me, and I'll have a little, there's going to be a little asterisk to, my number 1 here, and I'll tell you why. Number 3, though, for me is Friday the 13th. I'm a huge fan. And you know what? The average person who watches these, or even the average person who doesn't watch them, just sums them up. They're just Friday the 13th, it's the same movie. I can literally, I think most horror fans, we can just break down every single individual fucking Friday the 13th. That's just all there is to it. In fact, I even watched the remake the other night because it was Friday the 13th. You got every Friday the 13th. I gotta watch Friday the 13th. I don't care which one it is. I'll just grab one, throw it in, and enjoy it. So yes, Friday the 13th is my number 3. At number 2, and this is what's gonna surprise everybody. Halloween is number 2 and not number 1, and here's the reason why. Even though Halloween is one of my favorite, it's my favorite horror movie period, anyways. However, as a series, it's just a little too disjointed. And don't get me wrong, it's a great series. It's fucking number 2. Whereas, continuity-wise, we all know, 3. Nothing against 3. I enjoyed 3, but 3 was, obviously not part of the series. And then 4, 5, and 6 is kind of their own little thing. And then H2O ignores them. So it's disjointed. Now they're good. And I even like, the Halloween Rob Zombie version. I even like Halloween too. Everybody kind of took a big, shit on that, but I enjoyed it. But I do like them, but I'm sorry, number 1 to me has always been Phantasm. Just because, I just love the fact that it is very dreamlike. and it does have like this fantasy element to it. And I'm gonna explain more why I'm sucking it off right now on my review. But yes, even though Halloween, I prefer the movie Halloween over the movie Phantasm. As far as the series goes, I do prefer Phantasm. So boom, there it is. So there you go. Top 3 horror series. You know how to hit me up. All my Phantom friends over on Facebook. Boom, there you go. Of course, you can leave that comment right down there. You can even leave a video response if you want. I'm not saying you have to. If you want to, hey, go right ahead. And of course, you can always hit me up over on moviephantom7@gmail.com. Leave the email. So there you go. What do you say we get some news? Now, I'm not gonna lie, there's actually been some news this week. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a drought these past couple months even. Not today. We actually got some shit to talk about. They already said they've wrapped up production on Lords of Salem, the new Rob Zombie movie, which I'm really looking forward to because I'm just a big Rob Zombie fan anyways. Regardless of how much hate this guy gets, I'm just like, fuck it. I like his movies. Like, he has not let me down yet. All there is to it. So until he lets me down, then I'll start having second thoughts. But I'm looking forward to Lords of Salem. Here's the thing that worries me, though, is he said, like, they just finished, shooting, and they're waiting for it to get picked up for distribution. I assume, like, he'd already had this. I mean, he's fucking Rob Zombie. I mean, what, Lionsgate not helping him out? Where's Dimension at? Where's the Weinstein Company? Really, no one's, already waiting there for him? Halloween 2 was not that bad, people. Get over it. Oh, it wasn't like the original. Well, it's a remake, you assholes. It's supposed to be different. It's not a carbon copy. If it was just like carbon copy, he would just, done what that Gus Van Sant did do for the Psycho movie. He would just carbon copied it. He did. He remade it. And was it better than the original Halloween 2? No. But, hey, he did his own thing. He gave it a shot. And I admire him for that. So, boom, there you go. Suck it. So, yes, Lord of Salem. Hopefully, it should be coming out anytime soon. I mean, I couldn't imagine that he, waiting. I mean, maybe I'm kind of blowing it more out of proportion. I mean, maybe he'll get picked up by, IFC or, some shit like that. I don't care. Either way, boom. Should be coming to us soon. Speaking of, speaking of zombie, his name's Zombie, but he's not a zombie. Okay, normally, when I do the news segment here, I always kind of keep it entertainment, movie related, However, I saw this in the news, and I was like, this is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen, ever. And I loved it. I'm not gonna lie, I was a fan of it. Alright, I'm surfing around. I'm on shocktdrop.com. Good site, check it out. I don't even work for them. I'm not trying to plug my own thing. That's them. They're separate, but I do like them. But they had this article about how I guess there's a listing, and I guess I didn't even do my homework. I didn't even read it, but there's a listing for these houses that were actually built to be zombie proof. Dude, that's fucking awesome right there. And literally, they're price listed. I saw a couple of the houses, they had a moat and shit around there. High, security walls. I'm like, dude, this is brilliant. And we've all, anybody who's watching this channel, I can guarantee you've had that conversation with your friends, when the zombie apocalypse happens, how are you going, of course now, this recent, rash of, people getting their faces eaten off and shit, hey, it probably wouldn't be bad to, invest into a zombie-proof house. I mean, I don't know. So, you're in the market looking for your first house, maybe, you and your old lady just got married, got a family. It wouldn't hurt looking into some kind of zombie proofing. I'm just saying, right there. Alright, there's a movie coming out called, it's not even been, it's just greenlit right now. It's not even in pre-production, but Harker. Jonathan Harker, apparently, we all know, the Dracula, that he's fighting, Dracula or whatnot. Director Eli Roth is going to direct this thing. Now, I'm not sure who's screenwriting it just yet. But apparently Russell Crowe's already signed on. I am not the biggest Russell Crowe fan. I'm not gonna lie. I just don't give a fuck about Gladiator. And I don't really like Russell Crowe. I mean, he's a good actor, but it's the fact that everybody says he's a dick, and he just hates the fans. I'm not gonna lie. That does kind of rub me the wrong way. So every time I see his movie, I'm like, fuck this guy. But anyways, he's supposed to be playing Jonathan Harker, and apparently, they're hoping that the first movie, because it's supposed to be he's fighting Dracula this time around. They're hoping, if this does really good, they're going to do other movies where I guess he's going to be fighting, Frankenstein's monster or, mummies or I don't know what the fuck else. I mean, just other monsters, whatnot. So, yeah, there's that. All right, everybody remembers Bob Clark's Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. Well, they're going to be doing a remake, and Tom Savini is directing it. So, you know what? I'll check it out. I'm not gonna lie. It's one of those movies where I'm just kind of like, I'm just indifferent if there's a remake or not. I'm like, there's really no hollow ground there. Like, now Black Christmas I was a little pissed off about because I knew they was just gonna turn in shit, and I was right. It was just shit they turned in. But no, this one, Tom Savini behind it. Yeah, I'll check it out. I'm down. And finally, excuse me. That's all it's been. Like, this whole week's just been Comic-Con. Obviously, because Comic-Con's going on right now. But they got the new trailer for Resident Evil Damnation. However, I have not checked it out because my computer is fucking up on me, and I could not check it out. So I don't know what it looks like. Now, don't get twisted. It's not the the fifth live action Resident Evil movie. This is actually the sequel to the CGI animation Resident Evil. The first one was Degeneration. Well, now it's Damnation, and it's the next chapter in that little saga right there. I enjoyed it. I think I mentioned that once before, but I liked it. Like, I was kind of shocked. I figured this CGI. I figured I'd be like watching my cousin play video games, and we've all been there. Like, I'm not a big gamer myself. I hang out with my cousin, and he's like smoking pot and drinking Big Red and playing this game, and I'm just like, fuck it, might as well just hang. I'm here. So. Watching play, it's alright. Well, I thought it'd be like, when I watched that, Degeneration, I was like, it's gonna be the same fucking thing. And it really wasn't. Actually, it was pretty good. It's a good standalone, story in the Resident Evil series. Well, part 2's coming to you, so boom, there it is. Alright, now since we've taken a break and I, did the last week's show, we've had a couple movies. I mentioned that Red Lights was gonna be one of the new movies hitting theaters soon. Well, there was another one that's kind of snuck in, I didn't get a chance to say it, so, I'll go ahead and hit both these up right now and give my little thing, I'll run my mouth about them. Up first, we got The Pact, and the basic, it looks like it came out last week, limited release, so, if you're in a small town, it probably won't be coming to your thing, so either illegally download it or don't illegally download it. Sorry, I didn't say that. Or, video on demand, or, this way. Usually these, limited releases, they come out pretty quickly on DVD. But anyways, the movie's called The Pact, and it looks like your basic haunted house. Like these, two sisters come back, and there's a house and there's a ghost. And I'm not gonna lie, I just kind of don't care anymore. Like, this is even though everybody found footage is the thing that's rampant right now. I think just ghost stories in general are, and don't get me wrong, most of them aren't bad, but I just don't get excited for them. I've talked about before, Insidious. I just did not want to see it, just based on the fact that it was just another ghost movie. However, Insidious was awesome. I ate my words on that. This is freaking brilliant. But still, now there's new ghost movies coming out, and I can care less. I'm just eh. And The Pact, literally, this was another generic, independent ghost movie. I'm sorry, it's just my opinion, but yes, it's out there, so, you're in a big city and come across it, check it out. I'll probably check it out at some point. So, and then yes, the other one was Red Lights, and you know what? Like I said, I didn't really give much on when I mentioned it last time, and that's actually out right now. It just opened up this weekend. Had a Cillian Murphy, and I think it's Robert De Niro. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's De Niro. Anyway, and am I saying that wrong? Is it Cillian Murphy or Cillian Murphy? I think I've asked this before, no one's really clarified it for me. I don't know, but dude's awesome. Fucking Scarecrow and 28 Days Later, and he's just I didn't like Red Eye, I'm sorry, but whatever. But yeah, it's a thriller looking thing, but it does have this supernatural thing to it, where basically they get this. He's a detective. I guess he's trying to solve these cases, but he gets Robert De Niro, he's a psychic, and of course Cillian thinks he is possibly a fake psychic or whatnot, so he's kind of investigating him. Turns out he's not, and he may actually have powers, on top of just being able to be a psychic. It don't look too bad. I think out of the two, I would definitely recommend the Red Lights, and I don't know much beyond that. The trailers, it's a trailer, don't really explain a whole lot. Whereas The Pact, I was just it's a fucking ghost story, so yeah. So there you go, boom. So, let me shift these over here for a second. Alright, so hit some viewer comments. Now, a couple weeks ago, I was just kind of bitching about The Crow. Had his whole little mini rant about The Crow. And the 13th Wolfman, he threw it out there that in part 2, the reason why, The Crow, or the guy comes back, I can't remember the dude's name, but anyways, why he dresses up like that is because the little girl in the first one grew up, and that's how she imagined it. But even if that's the reason, I'm still just I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. If you guys are just like lost right now, I had a whole. Like, go back and check the rant out. It was like 2 episodes ago. You easily find it. Anyways, yeah, I'm sorry. I just even if that's the reason, there's still like a TV show and like 2 other movies beyond that. Edward Furlong's like a crow. Like I want to know that story. Like, is he like Eric Draven's brother? Is he also like? Did he see the guy? Like, oh, look at that guy. He's dressed up, with the funny clown makeup. Oh no, I just got stabbed and I got to avenge my death. I'm gonna dress up like that guy when I come back. I'm just saying. Got an email the other day. This dude, his name is Fusento, and if I'm mispronouncing it, dude, I'm sorry. But yeah, he was commenting on actually the when me and the whore hag was doing the Nightmare on Elm Street countdown, the ranking. And he had a question for her, actually. Her mask, he asked if it was the same mask. It was a baby face mask, like a demented baby face mask. But he wanted to know if that was the same mask that was from the movie Hills Run Red. And I didn't know, but I went over to her house. I knocked on the door, said, hey, is that the Hills Run Red? And she has no idea. She really doesn't. She says she's never seen the movie, so it could be. But yeah, neither one of us know. I never seen the movie either, so I couldn't tell you. But yeah, if anybody knows, if anybody's seen Hills Run Red, let us know so I can email this dude back and let him know. So boom. And finally, Joker threw out there. He saw the horror villain summer showdown. I thought when I wrote that out, I was like, that's going to slap the tongue perfectly. And then each time I'm literally like stopping to pronounce each fucking word because I know if I say it really fast, I'm gonna screw it up or whatever. Anyways, he big fan of Pinhead, and he's wanting to see Pinhead and Tall Man clash. And I actually got a lot of comments. I knew I would about everybody's like such and such shouldn't have won, and this guy should have made it further, and everything else. Which I think that's what's good about these kind of tournaments, because everybody can kind of jump in, throw their 2 cents in there. I'll be honest with you, after now I'm watching Phantasm, I'm like, man, Tall Man probably could have made it a little further. He got killed by Frankenstein's monster. What can you do? Anyways, Joker's question was, he wanted to know what was Pinhead's weakness. And he said he's only seen the first 3. I personally have only seen the first 5. I did buy like the Hellraiser collection. It has like, I got them all but like the last one, the Revelations that just came out. So, but yeah, I'm working my way through that. Yeah, they're not bad actually. Like, I thought Inferno was incredible. Like, it doesn't have a whole lot of Pinhead in it, and everybody was bitching about that. Everybody's like, oh, it didn't have Pinhead. Fuck this movie. I thought it was pretty good. Like, it was a decent story. You know what else? What other movie didn't have much Pinhead in it? The first Hellraiser. Suck a dick. Boom, there it is. So, that's the key, I think. You didn't just take Pinhead out a little bit, you'll get a good story. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, anyway, he asked what his weakness was, and I really don't know. Like, no matter what they do to this guy, he just comes back, and it's like, don't even have to make sense. He's just like, oh, I'm back, fuck it. Don't even explain how I'm back. I just came back. Weakness-wise, I think just the cubes, and it don't even really kill him. It just sends him back to hell. But hey, if anybody out there who's, went beyond, part 5, help us out. Me and Joker's trying to figure out what is Pinhead's weakness. So, he figures like a hammer and Christianity. So I think if you actually just hammered Pinhead's head in with a crucifix, that may fucking do it right there. I mean, has anybody done that yet in the movies? I don't know. So yes, there it is. So yeah, you want to leave any kind of comments? Once again, just like with the top 3, Facebook friends, hit me up over there. Yeah, email me moviefam7@gmail.com. Video responses or just down there. Hey, I'll hit you back. So don't worry about that. So what do you say we get some of these reviews, shall we? Alright, so like I said, this is for Joker. He asked about, these, this series, and we'll hit it up for him. So up first, we got, from 1979, Phantasm. One of my favorite movies, bar none, anyways. Okay, basic, concept. Now, I always do that for, I always throw out basic concept. And it's really weird to kind of break this down, but I guess we really had to break it down. Dude, the tall man brings his sinister evilness to a small town. And it's up to, Mike, his older brother, Jody, and ice cream man, either way, fuck it, to save the day. Alright, this movie is extremely low budget. Now here's what after watching it, I went online, just, surf around, and I noticed something, dude. People, like, from this generation, hate this fucking movie, and I just don't get it. Like, every review I was reading, like, recent reviews, like, not the old one, but now, people just take a big shit, and I know what it is. Like, see, I grew up with this movie. And most people who, the older generation, I guess, we grew up with this movie. So it is a classic, and like when you're a kid, you don't care about special effects, you don't care about story, and like really, like plot. Like this plot is a little, it's not a straight line. It curves a little bit. It's a little disjointed, but you don't care just because. I mean, it's got great atmosphere, and really, I don't know. Like I just kind of connected the dots that weren't there anyway. Like when you're a kid, you're like, fuck it, I'll make sense of this somehow, and that's what I did. But I know it's like the kids today. I think what it is since they are looking back, like, a lot of kids want, because and I do recommend this, like, you're trying to break into horror movies, look back, find out what are considered the classics, and check them out. And this is considered, it's a cult classic. Everybody thinks this is fucking brilliant. So I think when kids are hearing this, they're like, oh, wow, this is brilliant. They go back and check it out, and they're like, wow, this looks fucking hokey as shit. And of course, everybody watches Star Wars. I was not big on Star Wars as a kid, so I thought the Star Wars was ripping these fuckers off. I'm not gonna lie, I was just like, wow, look at those dwarves. They fucking stole the dwarves from this guy, not knowing, And he didn't really steal them off of it. I mean, it's just a coincidence, either way. But anyways, I think kids there just watching this, expecting way too much, and they're like, wow, this is shitty, and they just take a massive shit on this thing. And then when one guy takes a shit, everybody's like, oh wait, you took a shit on it? Well, here, I'll take a shit on it. And they all just kind of get together and do like this big communal shit on this fucking awesome movie right here. Alright, here's what I like about this. Alright. I was a kid, and once again, when I was a little Phantom, I watched nothing but horror movies. Like, I just prefer horror movies back then. Like, now as I'm growing up, I know it's like, my collection is getting a little more diverse. And I got some more dramas in there. I know, easy. Eternal Sunshine, what can I say? It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It is my favorite movie of all time. I can't even fucking deny that. But anyway, I got some crime. I love my Quentin Tarantino. What can I say? Comedies. I'm comedy and horror. They always said, Hitchcock always said, they share that same nervous laugh right there. So, but when I was a kid though, it was literally like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and horror movies. That's it. That's all I fucking watch. So I can relate to movies like this where the main character was a kid. Because when you're a kid, it's weird, because I kind of had this happen to me not long ago. Because when you're a kid, I don't know, your mind, you're not quite as jaded to the world just yet. And so, I don't know, you kind of believe in more things. So you believe there's a boogeyman in the closet, or there's something down in the basement. Or, you won't go outside at night because, God damn it, there's something in the darkness. You don't know what it is, but there's something out there. And you try to tell the adults this, and what do they say? They're like, seriously? Are you busting my balls now? Get out there, play, or, go to bed. There's nothing in your closet. And it's funny because the other day it's been a couple years back actually, but still, yeah, it feels like the other day. My little cousin, they were talking about there's like this ghost that haunts like this park or whatever. And he lives in the sewer. Now this whole thing came after they watched It on TV. They naturally seen Pennywise in the sewer, and then a kid started the rumor that, hey, there's a crazy demon ghost that lives in the sewer out here, and the kids in the neighborhood were freaking out about this. So I was just like, what are you guys talking about? And they all clammed up, and they're like, oh no, it is nothing. You know why? Because I'm the outsider now. Like, I've grown up, and thing is, like, I wouldn't believe them. They're like, no, seriously, Phantom, there's a ghost over there. They're talking to a Phantom somehow. They're like, oh, Phantom's okay, but this ghost over there is crazy. Anyways, they're like, Phantom, there's a ghost over there, and I'd be like, no, there's not. And that's the thing, when you grow up, you just quit believing. That's just what it is too. But when I was a kid, I could see, like, The Shining, I related to, little Danny there. The kids there, I could relate to that, because you tell your parents, like, hey, there's something in the drain. They ain't gonna believe it, and you have to, like, fall back on that lie. Hey, there's a spider ran down there. So anyways, yes, I, definitely believe in this. And, there's a lot of themes, themes of being abandoned in here, His parents are dead, Mike. And really the only thing he has left to hang on to is his brother Jody. But Jody's about to blow town, he realizes, there's nothing left for him here. And I think as much as Jody loves his brother Mike, at the end of the day, he felt like, he might be better off with his aunt or grandmother, whoever the hell he's going to send him to. And that, he best hit the road. But, see, Mike senses this. And so there is like that, that sense of, being unwanted and abandoned, And then on top of that, you got this crazy fucking tall man dude, coming into town, lifting fucking caskets up and shit, by himself. And, who's going to believe that? I wouldn't believe. Like, right now, if, like, my little cousin said, Phantom, there's a crazy dude at the cemetery lifting caskets. I'm like, yeah, you just watched Phantasm. You go away. You're good. And there's, there could literally be, like, these flying silver balls flying around over there. And I'm not believing it because I'm an asshole who's grown up now. So yes, I mean, once again, that this is one of the reasons I really kind of dug this movie when I was a kid. The other thing was the fact that it is very crazy. Like when I was a kid and I watched this, I think I was probably second grade or third when I first watched this movie, maybe even a little bit younger, and it threw me off. Like I couldn't understand any of it. Now, as you grow up, it's a little easier. There's something that kind of feel a little weird, but overall, you can piece it together. But when I was a kid, I was just like, oh my god, my mind is blown and I'm bleeding from the ear and shit. I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on. But yeah, I mean, that's what I loved about it. Like, it was so bizarre. And the fact that, like, the average kid doesn't know what Phantasm is. It's not like Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street, where everybody knows Freddy and everybody knows Jason, everybody knows, Michael Myers. No one knows who the Doll Man is. So when I was a kid, it was like that little secret movie. Like, only, me and, my cousin, my little brother, like, only us knew about it. Like, all the other neighborhood kids didn't fucking know about it. And the truth is, I didn't really want them to know. Like, fuck you guys. This is our movie. So, yeah, I mean, this has a lot, like I said, a lot of sentimental value. Now, as I grow up and watch this movie, there's still some great things about it. I just love little scenes that, like, one of my favorite scenes is when Jody and Jody and Reggie are playing the song on the porch. And really, I guess the only reason, besides just, like, showing, like, how good friends they are and they're in the band or whatever, I mean, it leads up to the fork tuning scene. However, it is kind of just like an extra little thrown in there. Because when Don Coscarelli first did this movie, I guess, like, the first cut was, like, 3 hours long. And it was just and they have a lot of deleted scenes on the DVD here, and it is a bunch of, like, random just character development scenes, but still, yeah, I mean, just thrown in there. But that's one of my favorite scenes, just because, I mean, it is kind of like this natural thing to it. So, as you grow up, you realize, like, you start realizing what special effects are and everything, you're looking for them. And I still think they're good. I mean, there's some shit, yeah, I mean, you can see, like, there's a scene where, like, the fucking hearse, no one's supposed to be driving it, and it turns out it is a dwarf, but anyways, when no one's driving it, you can clearly see there's somebody there. But, it's low budget, and, you look past it, The scene where the tall man, when he's chasing Mike, and that's one of my favorite scenes, too, dude, when there's a scene, I'm just all over the place there, I'm sorry, I'm just out there. But anyway, there's a scene where when Mike's in the mausoleum, and he hears a tall man behind him, they're really far away, but every time, Mike takes a step, the tall man takes a step. And, dude, they're fucking face to face. And of course, now we kind of watch it and you realize the tall man isn't really as tall as you thought. But when you're a kid, you're like, oh my god, dude, he's facing this giant. And it's a terrifying scene there. Like, because I always put myself in the characters, scenes. I do it now even, I'm like, what would I do in that situation? But when you're a kid, it's the same thing. But I'm like, oh, dude, I'd be fucked. Like, I can't run that fast anyways. And he's outrun the, tall man. Of course, when the tall man lunges at him at that last second, he closes that door on him. You can clearly see, if you watch it again, the door just shuts. I mean, his finger ain't caught there. But then the second, they cut to it, his fingers are flapping in there. So like I said, there's a lot of little scenes like that where, yes, because of the low budget, they couldn't quite pull it off. But, if you're going to literally nitpick on shit like that, suck a dick. That's my new thing right now. I'm just on third telling people suck dick. So yes, really, I don't know where else to go. I mean, the music in this is, now to me, I don't know, once again, there's some people who are just like, whatever. But to me, personally, this is one of my favorite scores. Probably my top 3 music scores of all time. I just love the Phantasm theme. Like, that to me ranks up there with the Halloween theme and the Nightmare on Elm Street theme. I mean, it literally is just fucking iconic. I mean, it's brilliant. The acting is, everybody wants to shit on the acting. I think it's very natural. Like, to me, movies like this and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they just have this, and Night of the Living Dead, it's real. Okay, they're not like trying to. I mean, just to me, it just seems more real. Now, maybe you guys will disagree, and that's cool, whatever. But to me, I'm watching it. Even now, I'm watching. I'm just like, I don't think the acting's that bad. I think it's just very natural. I mean, there's kind of tertiary acting in a way. So yes, I highly recommend this movie. I don't even know what to say. I can probably go on and on about different scenes and whatever. Recommend it. Check it out. All right, up next, boom, Phantasm II. All right. The one thing that everybody wants to bitch about right off the fucking bat, just right off the bat, is that Michael Baldwin is not playing Mike in this one. When I was a kid, I didn't really think about it. Like, I knew it wasn't him. And I want to say whenever I was a kid, the first two, when I first watched the first one, I seen the first two. And then immediately, that's when 3 came out on a VHS, and then I rented that one. So I want to say, I watched the first 3. I mean, I grew up on all the first 3 anyways. And then the 4th one, we'll get to that next week. But anyways, so yeah, but I mean, I knew right off the bat, like, yes, that's a different guy. for me personally, it just never seemed, it didn't really bother me that much. I'm like, you know, it's still the story. Like, I'm just more into the story than the actual who's, you know, there. And don't get me wrong, like today, if they do Phantasm 5 and just recast everybody, yeah, I'm going to be the first one to bitch. I'm not going to lie. But this one, for some reason, I let it go. And I'm like, you know what? It didn't hurt Michael Baldwin. He's back. He got back. I mean, he like, you know. And everybody, you know, shits on this one just because of that, so whatever. And the guy, what's his name? James LeGros? LeGros? I'm going to call him LeGros. If I'm wrong, just, you know, suck a dick. Anyways, you know, I don't think he did that bad of a job. I mean, I thought, you know, for what he did, not too shabby. Basically, in this one, okay, at the end of part 1 of the first one, spoiler alert, you know, you realize it's all a dream. But even like the end of it, it's still kind of a dream per se. And you'll know, I mean, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. 'Cause like the first opening scene in this is all kind of still in Mike's head, and boom. You know, what I really think about this one, like, looking back now, I love the fact that they delve more into, I guess, other people. 'Cause like in the first one, aside from that one caretaker, it really was just the tall man, the dwarfs, and the ball. Or balls, if you will. Anyways, in this one, you got, you know, the balls have more gadgets to them, which is fucking awesome, dude. The one that, like, you know, it spins and it lops the dude's ear off. The fucking golden ball, and you guys know what I'm talking about right there. And I'm sorry, right there. I voted for Frankenstein, or Frankenstein's monster last week, and I'm sorry. Dude, golden ball what came in just blew his fucking ass up. And then, like, the Mads, you know, Frankenstein himself would be in there, like, oh, that's my creation, and he would got, you know, blown in half too. So I want to apologize right now to everybody. I should have voted, you know, tall man. Anyways, so yeah, you had the gold ball, and then of course, you know, you had like the grave diggers as well on top of the dwarfs and everything. So yeah, I mean, and it really was, I mean, it just had like this gruesomeness to it. Like, I love the scene, there's a scene where a gold ball literally goes into this one dude, and like, fucking, it drills up, and really, it's a testament to really sound effects, and this dude who's acting, because I mean, he's screaming, I mean, you can just imagine this thing is like, literally sawing up his insides, and it was fucking awesome, I'm just telling you right now. You know, they introduced a new character, it's a girl, my God, I just watched this a couple nights ago. I'm blanking on her name right now. The blonde girl in the movie. I can't think of her name. Liz. Anyways, you know, they bring, you know, her into it, and she's kind of like Mike, and she kind of has that thing. And I did like that, and I hated they kind of detracted away from that, because after this one, spoiler alert, you know, she's dead in part 3. She doesn't make it beyond that, and they just kind of leave that whole thing. I like the notion that there are others out there. And they say that. I mean, it wasn't just like there's only her out there. No, he said there are others like us and whatnot. So I just like the idea that there was, you know, some other people out there in these small towns who had this connection to the tall man. And I kind of hate that they kind of, you know, did go away from that. I mean, that's why I do like, you know, the Phantasm, you know, as well, Phantasm 2 as well, because I mean, it did kind of open up the mythology a little bit more, and you know, really just kind of, you know, give the story somewhere to go. I mean, literally, you could have gone anywhere with this. Really, just, you know, another damn good movie. I mean, once again, I'll just be rambling on trying to, you know, tell you what I love about this. You know, once again, the acting's, you know, really good. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, literally, 2 damn good movies right here. I mean, good movie, good follow-up. You know, there's no reason you guys shouldn't be checking them out. So, boom. All right, I think I rambled on long enough. So, Joker, that was for you, buddy. Hope I, you know, answered your questions on what I feel about the Phantasm. So, boom, there it is. Next week, I will be hitting Phantasm 3, Lord of the Dead, and then Phantasm 4, Oblivion. So, yeah, there it is. I'm out of here. So, yes, boom. Catch you later.